After being pecked by a radioactive bird, a somewhat mannered T.Tuthill was compelled to become Kinneas, the Skydude. Okay. Hello, my flight simming friends. All right, so we're still in China, and I want to head south today. And I've got to set up with a Boeing 737 MAX flight from ZLYL to ZGSZ. Oh, I wish we were kind of really there in the real world. I'm thinking about all the tasty food that we would get being in China. Have you ever been to China? Was the food as amazing as they say? I'm sure it can't be that much different from the stuff that they make us over here, but you never know, right? Oh, you know what I forgot to do is roll for the bad guys. So why don't we go ahead and take care of that now? And I also need to make sure that the BUSHTALK radio is working. We'll hang out there, have our pilot hang out for just a moment while we take care of this. Hey, where's my mouse? Hey, mouse. Oh, my mouse just went missing. Hey, you. There we go. All right. Let's hide BUSHTALK for just a moment. Out of the way. Okay. So, let me grab a D8. And if we roll an 8, nothing happens. The bad guys aren't successful in getting to tamper with any of the aircraft systems today. So let's see what happens here. Roll them. An 8. Lucky me. Okay, so the things that they could have messed with today, if you're looking down at the random failures app, is they could have messed with our flight controls, our gear, our fuel, something on our panel, our engines, brake, and other. I've been really lucky this whole week. They've been failing at every attempt, and I'm really happy about that. I mean, it gives me an opportunity to test, to drill emergency things that happen. Makes it a little bit more exciting. So in each category, there's a bunch of different things that they can mess with. Like our ailerons over here. Let's cancel out of this. Our gear. Our engine. All right, so sorry, bad guys, not today. Ain't happening. Thank you to Karma for allowing us to allowing the bad guys not to have any opportunity this week. Oh yeah, I need to check that BUSHTALK audio is working. Let me grab that here. Won't take but another minute. Okay, so we're that might be where we're at. Let's see, let me refresh. And maybe I'm not logged in the app here in the EFB. Let me go to that and click on the BUSHTALK client. There we go. We got a little green flashing light down there in the lower left corner. All right, now we appear on the map. So we probably heard these audio tours coming into the area yesterday. Let me go ahead and play one to check our audio.
The Ordos Desert is a desert/steppe region in northwest China, administrated under the prefecture of Ordos City in the Inner Mongolian Autonomous Region.
Seems to be working.
It extends over an area of approximately 90,650 square kilometers and comprises two sub-deserts, China's seventh largest desert, the Kuki Desert, in the north.
That's weird.
Captain, our cabin crew is ready for boarding. Awaiting your instructions.
Okay, there we go. Like, the only option we have is to skip the taxi.
Ground, Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714. Could you please get the passengers on board?
See if the thing actually lines up today.
Alpha 4714. The jetway is going to be connected.
Yesterday it would have dumped him right onto the tarmac. By Jove. It's working.
Ground, Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714. Could you please send the baggage?
We've completed boarding, Captain.
Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714. Baggage is on the way. Ground, Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714. Could you please send the catering truck? Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714. The catering truck is on the road. Ground, Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714 ready to copy IFR clearance to Huangtian. Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714 is cleared to Huangtian Airport as filed. Expect runway 16, maintain flight level 350. Departure frequency is 120.75, squawk 2131.
All right, one of our cabin crew just showed up in the chat room. Bruno's here. Excellent, excellent. Thanks for jumping on board, Bruno. I appreciate it. Whatever position you want in the airliner today.
Did you hear my last transmission?
Uh-oh. I wish I could add you in co-pilot as co-pilot.
Runway 16. Maintain flight level 350. Departure frequency is 120.75. Squawk 2131.
Fuel capacity,
Kin Charlie
Captain.
Sierra Alpha 4714.
That was a lot of overlapping talk right there. And what I did catch, I think 35,000 feet. Surprised it's not 36. I'll make it 36 anyway. Yeah, it'd be great if I could have you as co-pilot, and then I wouldn't miss all those darn radio messages.
Ground, Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714, requesting pushback. Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714, pushback request accepted.
Luggage loading now complete.
Tow bar in place, Captain.
No, I'm not a real pilot at all. Not at all.
You're cleared to start engines.
Yeah, I am just a simulator enthusiast. I am not a real pilot at all. Maybe one of these days I will get the courage up to maybe go try to get my private pilot license. Heck, even a sport license. No, I feel much safer doing it here and learning in the simulator. What about you, Bruno? Any real world flying experience?
Ground, Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714. Ready to taxi, IFR.
Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714. Taxi to and hold short of runway 16 via taxiway. Contact tower on 118.55 when ready.
118.55.
Hold short runway 16 via taxiway. Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714.
Bit of a tight turn. That guy's brave, right down in the front. Just standing there right in front of the wheel. You're lucky I didn't squish you. That's too much trust. Especially when I'm around. Hey, would you get out from my way? Walking right in front. I'm gonna suck you right into the engine. Well, walk around me at your own risk. Wow. You actually tried. You actually went and did it, Bruno. Hey, hold on a moment. Let me grab my coffee. That deserves a toast as well. So Bruno says in the chat room, he took a helicopter pilot course down about 20 hours of instructional flying in the late 90s, but didn't pursue a career. After 1997, until I recently used to jump out of planes and was a professional skydiver for about 20 years. That explains your handle, Bruno. Wow. Wow. That deserves a double clap and another toast. Wow. That's some cojones, my friend. Big, big flutter, fluttering in the wind cojones. Oh my gosh. And I can't even imagine trying to wrestle with a helicopter. I don't know that I'd really ever want to fly one. Just, it's like wrestling a beast. I suppose until you become, fluent in it and develop all the muscle memory. But what a pain in the butt trying to wrangle a helicopter just to do the most basic things. Just take off and hover, and you can't just take your hand off. Maybe with new helicopters, I don't know. But, even in the simulator, other than the eVTOL aircraft, you're fighting the helicopter the whole time. So they're pretty groovy, but man, that's tough. Wow, you fly RC models and drones. I would like to have a drone. That'd be cool.
To all passengers, our captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please stow your hand luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment. Make sure your seat back and folding trays are in full upright position. If you're seated near an emergency exit, carefully read the special instructions card located by your seat. A reminder that this is non-smoking flight, including the lavatories. If you have any questions, feel free to ask one of our attendants.
Yeah, Bruno's here on this flight, so if I
please direct your attention to the monitors as we review emergency procedures. Ladies and gents, please direct your attention to the front of the cabin for an important safety demonstration. There are identified emergency exits on this aircraft. Look around and
over here and over here and back there and back there.
Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose and pull the strap to adjust it. If you're traveling with children, wear your own mask properly on before helping your children. In case of emergency, after the brace. Brace. Message, tuck your chin onto your chest and bend forward. Place your head against the seat in front with your arms wrapped around your head. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. A life jacket is located under your seat. If necessary, take the vest and slip it over your head. Pass the straps around your waist and adjust like this. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord. Only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill it, blow into the oral inflating system. Whistle and light are here to attract attention.
That cracks me up every time. The oral inflating system. Well, how else are you going to blow it up? The anal inflating system? What a dumb use of words. The oral inflating system. All right, this is also a skydive flight now too. Well, virtually in your head. So Bruno's in the chat room and Henning's in the chat room. So if you decide that you want to, for whatever reason, imagine that you're jumping out of the plane, Bruno's here to help. I'm sure he would gladly push you out of the plane. I'm speaking on your behalf. I apologize. So Henning is also in the chat room from Germany. Henning says, summer finally in Germany, 32 degrees Celsius in the shade, and during takeoff in the Aster, it reached 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know Celsius from Fahrenheit. I know that it's almost like double or triple, 40, 80. So you're dealing with like 80 degrees. That's hot. When it's hotter, though, don't you get better thermals? So I would imagine you'd be mighty happy when summertime rolls around. It might be hot, but I would think that you'd get a lot of good lift. But I guess that depends on the clouds and the heat.
Tower, Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714 ready for departure. Runway 16, IFR to Huangtian.
Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714, QNH 1000. Cleared for takeoff runway 16.
QNH 1000.
Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714, acknowledge last transmission.
One moment.
Cleared for takeoff runway 16. Kin Charlie Sierra Alpha 4714.
QNH 1000. There we go. QNH 1000.
To all passengers, prepare for takeoff. Please ensure your seatbelt is fastened tightly. Your seat is in the upright position and your tray table is securely stored. Thank you.
Okay, so real quickly on the you get better thermals, Henning is saying no, not always. There was something called an inversion that day, which means the air gets hotter when you get higher, and then no clouds can form. The inversion is always where thermals stop. And Bruno says 40 degrees Celsius equals 104 Fahrenheit. That's too dang hot. That would drive me nuts. I mean, it gets hot here in Colorado. It gets wicked hot, and we'll probably see some of those temperatures this year, but I hope not. So far, it's been very pleasant and really, really rainy in the afternoons and overcast, and I'm just loving it so much. Okay, let me set this thing to flight plan. And zoom out a bit. Looking at our legs. Our legs need shaving. Yav, Lorva, Dovop. Let's look at our pad over here. Our climb is TRHT. Where's our waypoint? There's Yav way out there. There's Lovra. Then Dovop, the VOR LCZ, Togog, VOR AKD, P35, 361, P202, yada, yada, yada. Oh, I got a call coming in. One moment, please. Hello. No, the Volsics aren't tied to this account anymore.
Call have you ever killed a monster? This is for Jacob. Do you know Jacob?
That's the old account holder. That's the Volsic family. No, I have no communication with them.
So you got this phone number, like entire new phone number?
I used to be on the Volsic account, right? And that's how I have the phone, and then I transferred it over to T-Mobile.
Oh, okay. And you got no contact with them whatsoever?
No, that is correct.
Oh, all right. That's funny.
Oh, not at all. You have a great day.
Oh, you too. You take care. Bye.
So I guess my mic wasn't off. They heard all that. Well, at least it wasn't bad. I need to double check next time when I click that mic off. Okay. I was looking at our flight plan, and look at this strange maneuver we do here. Come down here to Serix, then come down, and then turn, and then come up. Weird rectangle. And then come back up, and then come way back down again. And then come in for a landing. And it doesn't even have us. Let's see if it. Oh, that's the hold. Let me back up. Where's the runway? Very strange. There's the airport. Sorry. Still trying to figure this out a little bit. That doesn't make much sense. There's the runway. What's up here? Runway 15. All right. And like yesterday, we don't have the ILS chart. Why not? So to get the ILS, I'm sure it is on one of those charts, but we don't have the doesn't say. So come down here to the runway or to the airport and click the thing there, and we can get our frequencies here for runway 15. Heading 153 true, 156 magnetic, and the frequency is 111300. There we go. So that's switched now. And set to active. And the touchdown zone is 10 feet. Where are we at now? We're 3,900 feet. All right. All right. Let me jump back in the chat here, check on the gentleman. Hey! You know the server that I am? I'm on the West Coast server. I was watching Farmer yesterday. His video posted of his latest outings in Farming Simulator, and I got to hear his voice for the first time. And it's very interesting music. That wasn't what I was expecting to hear, but interesting just the same. And he's doing a Farming Simulator challenge. Which way am I supposed to turn? All right, Henny's taking off. He's got volleyball tomorrow. All right, Henny. As always, be safe out there. Oh, we're supposed to go down there and do a U-turn? I'm going to try to speed this along. No, they don't give me the option. Should have taken advantage of it when I had. Oh, come on, you. Whoops. Uh-oh. Whoops. Passengers, I meant to do that. I'm probably going to get a speeding ticket for this one, but we got to get going. Yeah, I'll take the ticket. So I was watching Farmer yesterday, and the challenge that he's doing, it's a loan challenge. Like $500,000. You set yourself up so that you have to take out a loan. You're only allowed a couple, like one particular tractor with an upgraded engine. And he decided to approach it from creating silage. I now forgive me, is silage just hay? Or is that farmers, they use different terms than us civilians. Silage, I'm not really sure what silage. So yeah, he's going that route where he dries out he mows the grass, and then he sets it all up on these poles to dry it all out. And then I think he sells it is going to start selling it as hay. So it's a one lot challenge, again, with one tractor and a couple pieces of equipment. I'm surprised at how big the plot was. So watching you first starting to mow yesterday, I was surprised at actually the dimensions of the lot. Pretty, long runs. So the 737 and I are slowly starting to become friends. The last couple of flights have gone really, really well, and I've managed to do ILS landings. They might be a little bit unprofessional still, but I'm able to do it and understand how to get the thing to set up for an ILS. All really comes down to, I think, the frequency, which I hadn't. Normally in the Airbus, I'm used to it setting up the frequency for you. You're up. I think we're high enough now. We can bring the flaps up. And we need to go to contact approach. Okay. Oh, auto throttle. Turn that on. I agree with you. Yeah, I didn't get to it on time. And I oversped a little bit. I gotta be quicker on that next time. I forgot to turn the auto throttle on takeoff. Okay. And we're not headed to Yav. We're still climbing. Set this to standard. Light level change. Why aren't you keeping us under? N1 is climb. But it still should be keeping us under 250 knots. And how did this thing get toggled? All right, 9,500 feet, 9,800 feet. Okay. Now I just need to make sure that LNAV is working. For simulator purposes, I would move the MCDU functions right up on these screens. It's so hard to keep the screen, the information that you need right here in view, and also keep down here in view. I mean, you can do it out here, but it makes it hard for the viewer of the live stream to see it clearly as well. Yeah, I'd build my MCDU right smack here somewhere, right between them, along the, I don't know, figure out a way to work it into the console up here. Okay, Where are we? Why don't I see Yav now? There's Yav. All right. We're set. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? No, I think we're good. Set this to 35. All right. Now I can grab my coffee and kick back with you folks. All right. Grass that has fermented. Fermented. Silage is grass that has fermented. Now I know fermented foods are the big craze these days. But is that what you're doing? Are you going to end up feeding that fermented grass to livestock? Or, man, I can't imagine that they'd want to eat that though. Biofuel? I don't know. It didn't look that big until you started going around. On a technical note, recordings can be a little tricky. And when they speed up and you start going into fast mode, like, what am I trying to say here? When you speed up the video, it kind of pixelates a tiny bit. Oh, no. Now I'm remembering. What it was is when I went in there last night, it set me to a default at like 360p, and I had to turn up the resolution. That's right. So, yeah, because when I first started watching, I'm like, man, it's really blurry when he's running these lines. The image doesn't look that good. And I was going to talk to you about it, but now that I'm remembering, yeah, I remembered, oh, I don't have to. It's how YouTube set the video up for me to watch it. So ultimately, never mind. Everything looks good. It was great to hear your voice. You definitely sound like you're from Kentucky, and I don't mean that as a slight in any way. Southern accent is far out. Up here in Colorado, we have none. So I protest. How come we didn't get an accent? Here, let me throw something in protest and an empty cigarette carton. Yeah. Wow, look at that terrain down there. Oh, exactly. What I was thinking too. There we are. So something right off our port side. It's going to be right at the edge of our distance. And it looks like it's over and in a valley. Pingyao.
Officially Pingyao Ancient City is a walled city in central Shanxi,
over
China,
here.
Famed for its importance in Chinese economic history and for its well-preserved Ming and Qing urban planning and architecture.
No.
Administratively, it comprises the town of Gutao in Pingyao County.
That way.
Jiangsu. According to the 7th Chinese census data, the permanent resident population of the county is 450,697. Compared with the 502,712 people in the 6th National Census in 2010, it has decreased by 52,015 people in 10 years, a decrease of 10.35%, and the average annual growth rate is -1.09%. The town was founded in the 14th century CE and has been the seat of local government since at least the Qin. By the 16th century, it was a regional financial hub. Some consider it to have been the financial center of the Qing Empire in the late 19th century. It is a rated tourist attraction, and the settlement and the outlying Shengguo Temple and Xuanlin Temple became a World Heritage Site in 1997.
Sorry, I just finally got the camera switched back over. So right at the edge of our vision, right at the edge of the mountains over there, and actually probably even just a little bit further, that's the area it's talking about. But it's been around since the Qin Dynasty. And that's a really, really long time. And I can see why an area like when you're traveling across all of this, you know, as you go outward towards that plain, that people would want to, travel out there along that route rather than traveling through all this if possible. I mean, this is perfect. In those Chinese television programs, they talk about ancient China, you know, all the bandits. Same here with the Midwest. All the bandits, they love this stuff. You know, bandits always have secret layers in gullies and valleys for ambushes. Let's see where the major roads are, though. Wow, man, it's just huge. That's when one of the characters in this show says, "Huh, you think you can go in there and not get lost? I get it. You need me or you'll get lost in there." Oof. Without a doubt. That's a lot of up and down and up and down and up and down. And just, a little bit of water here. There's a little bit of water there. But looking around, not a whole lot of water. Badlands. Okay, so there's Yav up ahead. See if there's anything here for Yav. No, but we got 3, 4, like 5 or more coming up. That's fantastic. Got a whole bunch along this route. Next up is going to be something on our starboard side at $1:00, 2:00. Qingyang.
Qingyang is a prefecture-level city in eastern Gansu Province, China. Qingyang is the easternmost prefecture-level division of Gansu and is thus sometimes referred to as Longdong. It forms an administrative peninsula as it is surrounded, on all sides but the south,
Sure, they're thrilled about that.
It is in the lower middle part of the Yellow River on the lowest plateau and is within the eastern Gansu Basin. Elevation ranges from 885 to 2,082 meters above sea level. There are 5 major rivers in Qingyang, including the Malian, Hu, Hong, Zelang, and Hulu or Gord. Their combined annual flow is more than 800 million cubic meters. Qingyang was part of the area where the earliest cultures along the Yellow River developed and was part of the heartland of the Qin state that would eventually unite China. It was also an important place in the Communist Revolution. In March or April 1490 AD, a presumed meteor shower occurred in the Qingyang district. If a meteor shower did occur, it may have been the result of the breakup of an asteroid. At least 3 surviving Chinese historical records describe a shower during which stones fell like rain, killing more than 10,000 people.
Oh my gosh!
Due to the paucity of detailed information and the lack of surviving meteorites or other physical evidence, researchers have also been unable to definitively state the exact nature of the dramatic event. In 2004, Qingyang's GDP was 8.014 billion RMB, 11.6% growth over the previous year. Average annual urban income was 5,130 RMB, rural was 1,428 RMB. Petroleum and natural gas are the backbone of Qingyang's economy. Agricultural products include donkeys, Huan County sheep, cattle, jujubes, milk, apricots and other fruits, vegetables, and berries. 69 different kinds of Chinese medicinal plants and herbs are collected or grown here, 25 of which are exported.
All that other stuff, I just went blank. I just phased out listening to all the other stuff. My brain is trying to fathom 10,000 people getting wiped out because of an asteroid strike. But then they kept alluding that they're still uncertain about what it was. How could you be uncertain? What else could it have been? We all have those ancient alien stories, but unless they're going to start busting out it was an ancient aliens attack, then what else could it have been? Ocean's too far away to lift up a bunch of rocks and drop it on these people here. How else are you going to get rocks in the sky? But that's something that we don't experience, thankfully. We haven't really experienced that in our history. And we've been recording history a long time. And there's been a lot of meteors that have come down, but you don't hear about people getting hit by a meteor. And you sure as heck don't hear about whole villages and 10,000 people getting smacked these days. That must have been a pretty damn big asteroid for it to come down and still cause that much damage after burning up and breaking up and yada, yada, yada. It just blows my mind. So yeah, that's right out there towards that lava. You can kind of make out rivers a little bit. A little tough to make out still. We're pretty far away. Man, I love this app. I mean, that's another reason why I like it. It's just the things you learn. So funny, something unrelated but related. Okay, so today on social media, let me flip back over to this while I'm talking about this. So today on social media, they're talking about Hollywood and the problem in Hollywood, and they start all these movies without finished scripts, and that's a big problem. And, other problems that Hollywood has, just at these days, lack of originality, repeating the same crap. And they're like, well, there's not a whole lot of good stories to pull from. We've got thousands of years of history to pull from. And right there, that little snippet that we heard about the asteroid falling. If you want to add that ancient aliens twist to it, yeah, sure, go ahead. But it being grounded in history, I think that'd make for a fantastic movie. So I don't think they definitely exploit history or literature or so much unoriginal stuff these days. Okay, what's next? Yeah, we're still quite a ways. Oh, it would help if I sped us up a little bit. We can go to almost 280. Well, it doesn't want to take my speed. Oh, whatever. Okay. Another thing I needed to put in here was the course again. Course setting is 153 true, 156 magnetic. So let's go 154. $154. $35,000 feet. Put VNAV on. And we're in standard. Yep. Sorry about that. But now we should be making a little bit better time. No, it's not. Actually, it is. It went up to 275 knots. Let's deal with some of these other ones that are a little bit further out. We won't be passing over.
Mount Song is a mountain in central China's Henan province, along the southern bank of the Yellow River, that is known as the Central Mountain of the Five Great Mountains of China. Its summit is 1,500 meters above sea level.
Short and sweet. Oh, a Shaolin monastery.
The Shaolin Monastery, also known as the Shaolin Temple, is a Chan Buddhist temple in Dengfeng County, Henan Province, China. To have been founded in the 5th century,
Shaolin Monastery.
Shaolin Temple is the main temple of the Shaolin school of Buddhism to this day. Located 90 kilometers west of the city of Zhengzhou, the Shaolin Monastery and its pagoda forest were inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2010 as part of the historic monuments of Dengfeng. As the center of Chan Buddhism, the Shaolin Temple attracted many emperors' attention in China's history. During the Tang Dynasty 618 to 907 AD, Empress Wu Zetian paid several visits to the Shaolin Temple discussing Chan philosophy with High Monk Tanzong. According to legend, Emperor Taizong granted the Shaolin Temple extra land and a special imperial dispensation to consume meat and alcohol during the Tang Dynasty. If true, this would have made Shaolin the only temple in China that did not prohibit alcohol. Regardless of historical veracity, these rituals are not practiced today. This legend is not corroborated in any period documents, such as the Shaolin stele erected in 728 AD. The stele does not list any such imperial dispensation as reward for the monks' assistance during the campaign against Wang Shishong. Only land and a water mill are granted. The founder of the Yuan dynasty, Kublai Khan, ordered all Buddhist temples in China to be led by the Shaolin Temple, 8 princes during the Ming dynasty converted to Shaolin. Traditionally, Bodhidharma is credited as founder of the martial arts at the Shaolin Temple. However, martial arts historians have shown this legend stems from a 17th century Qigong manual known as the Yijin Jing.
That's so badass. The Shaolin Monastery we found.
White Horse Temple is Buddhist temple in Luoyang, Henan that, according to tradition, is the first Buddhist temple in China, having been first established in 68 AD under the patronage of Emperor Ming in the Eastern Han dynasty. The site is just outside the walls of the ancient Eastern Han capital, some 12 to 13 kilometers east of Luoyang in Henan province. It is approximately 40 minutes by bus number 56 from Luoyang railway station. The temple, although small in comparison to many others in China, is considered by most believers as the cradle of Chinese Buddhism. The geographical landmarks to the south are Mangan Mountain and Lukish River. The main temple buildings, a large complex, were reconstructed during the Ming and Qing dynasties. They were refurbished in the 1950s, and again in March 1973 after the Cultural Revolution. It has numerous halls divided by courtyards and manicured gardens, covering an area of about 13 hectares. The display plaques in Chinese and English give ample descriptions of the Buddhist deities installed in the halls. Significant statues include Shakyamuni Buddha, Maitreya, the Jade Buddha, figures of saints such as Guru Avalokiteshvara, Amitabha and Arhats, and stone statues of the 2 white horses which brought the Indian monks to China, and 2 mythical lions at the entrance. Under international funding, the temple has undergone many changes, both structurally and internally. The most recent cooperative project, with India, was completed in 2008 when the Sanchi Stupa and the Sarnath Buddha statue were erected.
Very cool. Sanmentia.
Sanmenxia is a prefecture-level city in the western Henan province, China. The westernmost prefecture-level city in Henan, Sanmenxia borders Luoyang to the east, Nanyang to the southeast, Shanxi province to the west and Shanxi province to the north. The city lies on the south side of the Yellow River at the point where the river cuts through the lowest plateau on its way to the North China Plain. It was home to 2,234,018 inhabitants at the 2010 census, whom 583,869 lived in the built-up area made of Hubin Urban District and Pinglu County in neighboring Shanxi, now within the agglomeration.
I can see why they call it the Yellow River. When you zoom out to this level, look at the color. Dang, we should be able to see it. Let me turn the camera a little bit. No, we're too cloud covered.
The Wei River is a major river in west-central China's Gansu and Shanxi provinces. It is the largest tributary of the Yellow River and very important in the early development of Chinese civilization. The source of the Wei River is close to Weiyuan County, Weiyuan meaning Wei's source, in Gansu province, less than 200 kilometers from the Yellow River at Lanzhou. However, due to the sharp turn north the Yellow River takes in Lanzhou, the Wei and the Yellow River do not meet for more than 2,000 kilometers further along the Yellow River's course. In a direct line, the Wei's source lies 700 kilometers west of the main city along its course, Xi'an in Shanxi province. The length of the river is 818 kilometers and the area drained covers 135,000 square kilometers. The Wei River's tributaries include the Luo River, Jing River, Niutu River, Feng River and the Chisui River.
Waterway is definitely very important in civilization advancement.
Mount Hua is a mountain located near the city of Haiyan in Shanxi province, about 120 kilometers east of Xi'an. It is the western mountain of the 5 Great Mountains of China and has a long history of religious significance. Originally classified as having 3 peaks, in modern times the mountain is classified as 5 main peaks, the highest of which is the South Peak at 2,154.9 meters.
All right, we're getting ready to come into this area. There we are. Just going to skirt by these. If we come within like a mile or so, or 10 miles, it'll usually play. So that's why I'm going through and doing all these manually. If we don't fly pretty much right over the top of them, they don't play. Wow, the terracotta armies here.
A collection of terracotta sculptures depicting the armies of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. It is a form of funerary art buried with the emperor in 210 to 209 BCE with the purpose of protecting the emperor in his afterlife. The figures, dating from approximately the late 3rd century BCE, were discovered in 1974 by local farmers in Lintou County, outside Xi'an, Shanxi, China. The figures vary in height according to their roles, with the tallest being the generals. The figures include warriors, chariots and horses. Estimates from 2007 were that the 3 pits containing the terracotta army held more than 8,000 soldiers, 130 chariots with 520 horses, and 150 cavalry horses, the majority of which remained buried in the pits near Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum. Other terracotta non-military figures were found in other pits, including officials, acrobats, strongmen, and musicians.
Now, the interesting thing about that is the complex. There's a program on it right now on Netflix, I believe, on the terracotta army. Okay, but that's not even the most amazing thing that blew my mind. Right now, we see a lot of city development over the area where the terracotta army is being housed and worked on. The whole totality of the complex of this mausoleum area, palace area, is the size of Manhattan. So we still see the gardens here, this mountain that they covered in trees, and you can see like gardens over here. But the whole complex itself was massive, massive, massive. Something else, in the past, they used to paint realistic colors on these, on terracotta. And I haven't seen anything, or I have to watch the program again. I put it on, then went to sleep. If they found any remnants of paint on them, can't imagine that they would create all those and then not paint them. Because in antiquity, there's lots of terracotta statues, and they were always done up very realistically. I almost wonder if at one point it was done to like fool an enemy. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you? They're like, well, he did it to have people in his afterlife because they believed that. I kind of want to, we say, yeah, okay, sure. But at the same time, I think about just the world and how violent the world has been, especially in ancient time. So if you've got an enemy that's coming around, maybe looking around from these mountains and trying to scope you out, and they, were to constantly see, thousands of soldiers out there in formation, and who knows? To me, it seems like something you would do as an act of war and subterfuge. But I don't know. That's not the story that they're telling anyway. Okay. Very cool. We're finding all kinds of gems today. Look, here's the pyramid. They covered this thing in trees. They didn't want anybody to know that there's a pyramid, but you can make out the shape perfectly there. There's pyramids everywhere in the world but North America, and that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't believe it. I think there has to be. And there are those conspiracy theories that talk about ancient Egypt stuff found in the Grand Canyon area. But it doesn't make sense to me that there's large pyramid complexes everywhere but here. They're like, well, the Indian burial mounds. Come on. An Indian burial mound compared to a pyramid complex? They're trying to tell us those are our pyramid complexes in North America. I'm not buying it.
The mausoleum of the first Qin emperor is located in Lintou District, Xi'an, Shanxi Province of China. This mausoleum was constructed over...
Let me pause there for a second. That is an ancient alien story into itself. If I've got the story right, the first emperor of China came down in a dragon, and he may have been a white guy.
The 38 years, from 246 to 208 BC, and is situated underneath a 76-meter-tall tomb mound shaped like a truncated pyramid. The layout of the mausoleum is modeled on the Qin capital Xinyang, divided into inner and outer cities. The circumference of the inner city is 2.5 kilometers and the outer is 6.3 kilometers. The tomb is located in the southwest of the inner city and faces east. The main tomb chamber housing the coffin and burial artifacts is the core of the architectural complex of the mausoleum. The tomb itself has not yet been excavated. Work on the mausoleum began soon after Emperor
Why? Why?
46 BC when he was still aged 13, although its full-scale construction only started after he had conquered the 6 other major states and unified China in 221 BC. The source of the account of the construction of the mausoleum and its description came from Sima Qian in Chapter 6 of his Records of the Grand Historian, which contains the biography of Qin Shi Huang. In the 9th month, the first emperor was interred at Mount Li. Digging and preparation work at Mount Li began when the first emperor first came to the throne. Later, after he had unified his empire, 700,000 men were sent there from all over his empire. They dug through 3 layers of groundwater and poured in bronze for the outer coffin. Palaces and scenic towers for 100 officials were constructed, and the tomb was filled with rare artifacts and wonderful treasure. Craftsmen were ordered to make crossbows and arrows primed to shoot at anyone who enters the tomb. Mercury was used to simulate the 100 rivers, the Yangtze, Yellow River, and the Great Sea, and set to flow mechanically. Above were representation of the heavenly constellations, below, the features of the land. Candles were made from fat of manfish, which is calculated to burn and not extinguish for a long time. The second emperor said, "It would be inappropriate for the concubines of the late emperor who have no sons to be out free," ordered that they should accompany the dead, and a great many died. After the burial, it was suggested that it would be a serious breach if the craftsmen who constructed the mechanical devices and knew of its treasures were to divulge those secrets. Therefore, after the funeral ceremonies had completed and the treasures hidden away, the inner passageway was blocked, and the outer gate lowered, immediately trapping all the workers and craftsmen inside. None could escape. Trees and vegetations were then planted on the tomb mound such that it resembles a hill. After Xiang Yu entered Xinyang, he was said to have looted the tomb. Afterwards, it is said that a shepherd unintentionally burnt down the tomb. No solid evidence of the destruction of the tomb has been found, although evidence of fire damage has been found in the pits housing the terracotta army.
Okay. 1, they've never excavated the mausoleum. We have all... Ooh. Lunch sounds fantastic. Bon appetit. Okay. Okay. So, one, we have this great interest in ancient aliens in our past, right? Gilgamesh was on the same quest. So if you know you've got a body around that's supposed to be tied to ancient aliens, why wouldn't you go after it to get the DNA if you can? But they would bury them so low in the ground that it would preserve the bodies so well. Okay, now on the Mercury thing. Mercury was also found in the pyramid complex in Mexico. Tehuacán? All right, so the idea that these pyramids are burial places when they seem more like machines, and then this idea that Mercury has been found in 2 separate pyramid complexes on opposite sides of the planet. Now, Teotihuacan goes even further. Their streets were lined with, I'm trying to think of the stone. Not stone, it's like a shale. Now the name of the material is eluding me. But it conducts electricity. So in Mexico, all the ground in ancient times was all laid down with this shale that conducts electricity. So, it was there over here. The Mercury underneath was to simulate the rivers of China and the heavens above. And yeah, okay, maybe. Okay. But how did they come up with the same idea all the way in Mexico? We haven't heard about any Mercury in the pyramid complexes in Egypt. But now with all this latest stuff about we don't know what's below the pyramid of Egypt, the pyramids in Egypt, but this whole speculation that they've got these chambers that go down into the ground now. Who knows what they're going to come up with? I was saying the other day, probably in yesterday's program, the idea that we don't have the bodies of these famous people that have been on quest to discover if they were partial hybrids from the Anunnaki, like Alexander the Great. His whole conquest, not only to drive the Muslims back and the Persians back into their tiny corner of the world. Again, thank you, Alexander the Great. His quest, once he got down past ancient Palestine, he went into Egypt specifically and then went out to the desert to consult with the priests out there to ask if he was of a hybrid bloodline. And they said, yes, yeah, you are. And so he was pretty emboldened after that, went into Babylon and other places and started laying waste to them, driving them back again. And that's when he kept going east and he ran into the Indians, and their different ancient alien split off altogether, and he got his ass handed to him. But they were pretty cool to him just the same. So that's when he got out of town and started heading home. We owe a lot of thanks to Alexander the Great. We owe a lot of thanks to the Spartans and the Greeks. It's sad that we have this perpetual conflict between Eastern civilization and Western civilization. And it sucks that throughout time, there have had to be certain people that have had to just, again, drive them back and make them regret ever trying and continue to try. And now we live in a completely different time where and I don't want to get too political. I said I shouldn't give my opinions about things that are going on. Keep the live streams light and entertaining. But, you know, we're kind of at that point now where they mock us. They're like, we don't even have to wage war anymore. They just invite us in. Immigration, isn't that great? And they give two big old thumbs up and they're so happy. And now we're in a situation where, you know, people don't think about, man, it's been a perpetual fight all the way back. Because they keep encroaching and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. Alexander the Great didn't conquer them. He was taking everything back. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Doing a big turn. There we are. What's up with the satellite image went out on us? Let me refresh. Directly ahead of us. That ain't us. This is now we're in Mexico. I was talking about Mexico. Did it move us to Mexico? What? We're in China. What? What? You need to be logged in. It logged me out. That's why it's showing us. Wow. Okay. Hey, I'm seeing a lot of people out there today. Look at all the people actually using the app today. That's fantastic. Usually one or two, but Jim Doll, L666, yikes. Pulpit 33, like that. Need a radar. Ciencio. Adamu Razor 72. And is also using NEOFLY. Doing a career. That still says this place is right out of Mexico or South America.
Punta Prison, officially El Centro de Detención Preventiva y Cumplimiento Penitenciario Especial Punta is a prison located in the municipality of T.Tuthill, Santiago Metropolitan Region. Punta is a special facility specifically built in 1995 for individuals convicted of crimes against humanity and human rights abuses during the military dictatorship of Chile. The prison, which holds approximately 70 inmates, is considerably more modern than a standard Chilean jail. After considerable military protest and insubordination in response to the sentences against violations of the human rights, Punta was built within a military community, but the prison is administered by the Chilean Gendarmerie, the National Prison Service, similar to the country's other prisons. In June and October of 1995, convicted Caravan of Death commanders Manuel Contreras and Pedro Espinosa were incarcerated at the prison, respectively. The 22nd of July 1995, some 1,500 people, many of them members of the army, attended a rally outside the Punta prison in solidarity for Brigadier Espinosa. Inmates have included Manuel Contreras, Raúl Iturriaga, and...
How did that point of interest end up in China? They must have got the coordinates real wrong. But that's so weird. We're talking about Mexico and the pyramid complexes in South America. How crazy. So off our starboard side at 1 o'clock, way out there. Oh, it's sticking on me.
The Han River, also known by its Chinese names Hanshui and Hanjiang, is a left tributary of the Yangtze in central China. It has a length of 1,532 kilometers and is the longest tributary of the Yangtze system. The river gave its name to the Han dynasty and, through it, to the Han Chinese, the dominant ethnicity in China and the most populous ethnic group in the world. It is also the namesake of the city of Hongzhong on its upper course.
That's interesting. I don't know what I've done, but I've got this line from our aircraft pointing out there. I've never seen it do that before. I think we missed that one back up here.
The Kunling or Qin Mountains, formerly known as the Nanshan and sometimes called the Sichuan Alps, are a major east-west mountain range in southern Shanxi province, China. The mountains mark the divide between the drainage basins of the Yangtze and Yellow River systems, providing a natural boundary between North and South China, and support a huge variety of plant and wildlife, some of which is found nowhere else on Earth. To the north is the densely populated Wei River Valley, an ancient center of Chinese civilization. To the south is the Han River Valley. To the west is the line of mountains along the northern edge of the Tibetan Plateau. To the east are the lower Funyu and Dabishan, which rise out of the coastal plain. The northern side of the range is prone to hot weather, however the physical barrier of the mountains mean that the land to the north has a semi-arid climate, with the lack of rich, fertile landscape that cannot support a wealth of wildlife. The mountains also acted as a natural defense against nomadic invasions from the north, as only 4 passes cross the mountains. In the late 1990s, a railway tunnel and a spiral was completed, thereby easing travel across the range. The highest mountain in the range is Mount Taibai at 3,767 meters, which is about 100 kilometers west of the ancient Chinese capital of Xi'an. 3 culturally significant peaks in the range are Mount Hua, Mount Li, and Mount Meiji. The Bailong River is a river 576 kilometers long river in the Yangtze River Basin. From its source to confluence with the Jialing River, the Bailong is actually longer and is thus the main stem of the Jialing River system. The scenic Jiu's Hegu Reserve is found along one of the Bailong's tributaries. 2 reservoirs have been constructed in Wen County. The reservoirs serve to provide hydroelectricity, aquaculture, flood control, irrigation and for tourism development. In August 2010, heavy rains triggered a mudslide that dammed the river in Siuk County, Gansu, causing extensive damage and killing over 1,000 people. The Bailong River, in name, rises in Gansu's Luke County, just west of the town of Langmyosi. The river drains the northern sections of the Min Mountains and then flows through Siuk and Longnan before meeting the Jialing River in Guanyuan, Sichuan. The main stem of the river, however, is actually a tributary that has its source in the Min Mountains, north of Songpan.
Neat river. Sad tragedy. These are a little far out, but these history ones are pretty interesting. An earthquake.
The 1976 Songpan-Pingwu earthquake that struck Songpan and Pingwu counties in Sichuan, China consisted of 3 main shocks on the 16th, 21st, and 23rd of August. A 1984 report gave the magnitudes as 7.2, 6.7, and 7.2, respectively. The magnitudes were subsequently recalculated as 6.7, 6.3, and 6.4 on the MW scale, and 7.0, 6.6, and 6.7 on the M scale. These were preceded by an earthquake swarm lasting 3 years. During the period from August 16 to August 31, there were over 400 aftershocks of magnitude 3.0 or greater. Short-term earthquake warning were issued 3 months before the earthquake. There were 38 dead in the 4 counties struck: Songpan, Pingwu, Maoan, and Nanping. More than 5,000 houses collapsed and 2,800 heads of livestock lost. The earthquake was felt as far as Jaitai, Gansu to the west, Kunming, Yunnan to the south, Hohhot, Inner Mongolia to the north, and Changsha, Hunan to the east, an area with a max radius of 1,150 kilometers. The total casualties were 800, 600 of them slightly injured, mostly due to mudslides. The Earthquake Administration of Sichuan won the Chinese National Science and Technology Award of 1978 for successfully predicting the earthquake.
Oh, that's too bad that we have such cloud coverage today. When you're doing career mode, and I think it was set to live anyway, we have no weather controls. So we get what we get. And that's unfortunate. I would really like to see things. Two more mountain ranges and another bit of history over here.
The first military conflict between China and Tibet occurred in 638. In the early 7th century, the westward conquests of the Chinese Tang dynasty brought it into contact with the rising Tibetan Empire. When Emperor Taizong of Tang refused a marriage alliance, the Tibetan Emperor Songtsen Gampo sent an army to attack the Chinese frontier city of Songshu. After a Tang army inflicted heavy casualties on the Tibetans in a nighttime attack, Songtsen Gampo withdrew. He sent emissaries and tributes to Chang'an to apologize, and to again request marriage. Taizong decided to give Songtsen Gampo a distant niece, Princess Wencheng, in marriage. The peace held for the remainder of the reigns of Taizong and Songtsen Gampo, although Tibet would pose major military threats for most of the rest of the Tang period. Wanglong is a scenic and historic interest area in the northwest part of Sichuan, China. It is located in the southern part of the Minshan mountain range, 370 kilometers north-northwest of the capital Chengdu. This area is known for its colorful pools formed by calcite deposits.
That's far out.
As well as diverse forest ecosystems, snow-capped peaks, waterfalls and hot springs. Wanglong is also home to many endangered species including the giant panda and the Sichuan golden snub-nosed monkey.
That's so fantasy looking. I kept them.
Minute Mountains or Minshan are a mountain range in central China. It runs in the general north-south direction through northern Sichuan and southernmost borderlands of Gansu. The highest elevation is Mount Zoibeoding Snow Treasure Peak, 5,588 meters, and the second highest is Mount Little Zoibeoding Little Snow Treasure Peak, 5,443 meters. The Min Mountain Range is a southern prolongation of the Kunlun Mountains that separates the basins of two major rivers of Sichuan, the Min River to the west and the Zholing River to the east. Both rivers flow in the general southern direction, and are tributaries of the Yangtze. According to the records of the Grand Historian, the Xia dynasty managed this mountain range as early as 2000 BC. The Laziku Pass, a site of strategical importance during the Long March, passes through the Min Mountains and connects northwestern Sichuan with southern Gansu. The characteristic ecosystem of the Min Mountains and the Qianglai Mountains, which are located further west, separated from the Min Mountains by the Min River Valley, has been described by the World Wildlife Fund as the Qianglai Minshan conifer forests. Important tourism and nature conservation objects in the Min Mountains include the Jiuzhaigu Valley Nature Reserve in Jiuzhaigu County and the Wanglong Scenic and Historic Interest Area in Songpan County. Both are listed on the UNESCO World Heritage Sites list.
The Three Gorges Dam, or here's the Three Gorges River.
The Three Gorges are three adjacent gorges along the middle reaches of the Yangtze River, in the hinterland of the People's Republic of China. With a subtropical monsoon climate, they are known for their scenery. The Three Gorges Scenic Area is classified as a scenic area by the China National Tourism Administration. The Three Gorges, comprising the Krutang, Wu, and Xiling Gorges, span 193 miles, beginning at Beidi City of Chongqing Municipality, in the west and ending at Nanjing Pass, at Yitong City, Hubei Province, in the east, between which are the Fengjai and Wu Mountains of Chongqing, as well as Beidong, Zigi, and Yitong of Hubei Province.
I knew it. So Three Gorges Dam is just down the road a ways, so we are here. Here's where the audio for Three Gorges is, and then here's the dam.
The Three Gorges Dam is a hydroelectric gravity dam that spans the Yangtze River by the town of Sanduping, in Yiling District, Yitong, Hubei Province, China. The Three Gorges Dam has been the world's largest power station in terms of installed capacity since 2012. In 2018, the dam generated 101.6 terawatt-hours, breaking its previous record, but was still slightly lower than the Itaipu Dam, which had set the world record in 2016 after producing 103.1 TWh. The dam body was completed in 2006. The power plant of the dam project was completed and fully functional as of July 4, 2012, when the last of the main water turbines in the underground plant began production. Each main water turbine has a capacity of 700 megawatts. Coupling the dam's 32 main turbines with two smaller generators to power the plant itself, the total electric generating capacity of the dam is 22,500 megawatts. The last major component of the project, the ship lift, was complete in December 2015. As well as producing electricity, the dam is intended to increase the Yangtze River's shipping capacity. By providing flood storage space, the dam reduces the potential for floods downstream which could possibly affect millions. China regards the project as a monumental social and economical success, with the design of state-of-the-art large turbines and a move toward limiting greenhouse gas emissions. However, the dam flooded archaeological and cultural sites, displaced some 1.3 million people, and had caused significant ecological changes including an increased risk of landslides. The dam has been controversial both domestically and abroad. The Three Gorges Dam is a hydroelectric gravity dam. The Skydude River Bridge is a 1,222 meters long suspension bridge crossing the valley of the Near in Beidong County of the Hubei Province of the People's Republic of China. The bridge was designed by CCSHCC Second Highway Consultants Company, Limited. and built at a cost of 720 million yuan. It opened to traffic on November 15, 2009. The bridge is part of the new G50 Haiyou Expressway that parallels China National Highway 318, an east-west route between Shanghai and Chongqing, crossing the wide belt of mountains that separate the Sichuan Basin from the lowlands of eastern Hubei. The Yangtze River pierces the same mountain belt 50 kilometers or 31 miles to the north, forming the famous Three Gorges. The Yaiwan Railway, completed in 2010 and running parallel to the highway, has been described as China's most difficult to build and most expensive rail line. The bridge spans a 500-meter deep valley of the Skydude River, and superseded the Royal Gorge Bridge and the Biapan River Guanxing Highway Bridge as the highest bridge in the world until it in turn was surpassed by the Dugay Bridge in 2016.
Yeah, and it's a real bummer that we can't have a peek at the ground with the cloud coverage today. Mighty thick. We got some more audio coming up ahead. It's been nice. For a while there, as we were coming from Alaska over into Russia, nothing. But days. I was surprised there was more in North and South Korea than in the areas of Russia that we were at. There's got to be a lot of cool things out there. That's the thing about Bush Talk Radio is they'll, I think when they first started, they had a whole small catalog of points of interest. But the thing about it is it's community driven like Wikipedia. So if there's not a point of interest that you want there to be, you can add your own points. It's relatively painless too. And you can import Wikipedia information right into it, like import the page. Or write your own script. You're going to have to edit the Wikipedia stuff anyway because it includes, brackets and formatting. You'll want to strip all the formatting off of it and make it so that when the AI reads it, it's all perfect. But yeah, you don't have to stick with Wikipedia at all. You're a writer. You're like, heck with Wikipedia. I can make this sound so much better. Do it. Some of the ones in Colorado, in the Colorado Springs area, are mine. I think I was the first one to get Air Force Academy. The Will Rogers Shrine, maybe. And I think Garden of the Gods may have been there. I don't recall. But you'll see over here, they've given me points. It says my points somewhere. Yeah, 6,941 experience points. I would only imagine, I can only assume that it's based on what I've created. And there's a toolbar on the side here. My submissions. The Battle of Four Lakes. Cheney, Washington. Glens Ferry. South Park City Ghost Town Attraction. Fairplay, Colorado. Yeah, I remember that one. I can't believe there wasn't something for Fairplay. The United States Air Force Academy, Falcon Stadium. The United States Air Force Academy. Garden of the Gods. Good. When Microsoft first came out with 2020, I was in the alpha. And I concentrated most of my time just flying Colorado and Colorado Springs. Now, the Garden of the Gods is a really big attraction here for tourism and just in general for the people. Also in antiquity, a place of reverence and religion. It's so different and unique. You don't encounter anything like it until you get down into Arizona, and even then. And so I was constantly, and have been since, always sending Microsoft tech support my bug reports on the look of Garden of the Gods. You screwed up the trees again. Now there's trees on the side that are all big. There's no trees there. Gets better and better looking all the time.
The Skydude River Bridge is
No.
The Garden of the Gods red rock formations were created during a geological upheaval along a natural fault line millions of years ago. Archaeological evidence shows that prehistoric people visited Garden of the Gods about 1330 BC.
I'm mad at myself. I didn't include an image.
Reported a connection to Garden of the Gods, including Apache, Cheyenne, Comanche, Kiowa, Lakota, Pawnee, Shoshone, and Ute people. Helen Hunt Jackson wrote of the park, "You wind among rocks of every conceivable and inconceivable shape and size. All bright red, all motionless and silent, with a strange look of having been just stopped and held back in the very climax of some supernatural catastrophe."
Yeah, looking at it from this view doesn't do it justice at all, and I'm sorry I didn't include an iconic photograph. All right, back to China. Wow, these hills look wonderful. I wish we could see them. I like it when they're nice and rolling and green. And we're really hauling ass. We're really moving fast. Look at this terrain. It's like the Earth couldn't figure out what it wanted to do. Does it want to be soft and rolling, or does it want to be angry? And there's just a lot of swirling going on here. That is definitely one thing I didn't, when you first start flying and you start doing your cross countries and looking at the world, and just seeing the Earth, not necessarily seeing the locations, learning about all this cool history, just looking at the Earth and what it's doing. Yeah, it's all wrinkly. That's got to look pretty neat from down here. This is all Magical Kingdom looking. So it looks like we'll intercept these three. Let's come out to this one. Oh, I have center plane on.
Zhangjiaji Glass Footpath is a skywalk bridge in Zhangjiaji,
No.
the Wuling Yuan area. The bridge, built as an attraction for tourists, is glass-bottomed and is transparent. When it opened, it was the longest and tallest glass-bottomed bridge in the world. The bridge, opened to the public on August 20, 2016, measures 430 meters in total length and 6 meters in width, and is suspended about 300 meters above the ground. The bridge spans the canyon between two mountain cliffs in Zhangjiajie National Forest Park in the northwest of Hunan Province. It is designed to carry up to 800 visitors at a time. The bridge was designed by Israeli architect Haim Datan. To build the bridge, engineers erected 4 support pillars on the edges of the walls of the canyon. The bridge is made of a metal frame with more than 120 glass panels. Each of these panels is 3-layered and is a 5.1 centimeter thick slab of tempered glass. There are 3 long swings attached to the underside of the bridge. There is also a provision for making a 285-meter bungee jump, considered to be the highest bungee jump in the world.
No. I'll just admit it, I'm a chicken. That does not sound inviting to me at all. I would rather risk my life flying. Walking on a glass bridge and bungee jumping underneath a glass bridge. No. It's not the top of my tourism list. And what I'm weighing these days, I'd snap those bungee cables, most likely. That'd be my luck anyway. Ooh, I shouldn't have had all those Chinese spare ribs. That would totally be my luck. Snap.
Wulingyuan is a scenic and historical site in the Wulingyuan district of central China's Hunan.
I've been trying to find where these kind of formations are at and wanted to fly these in the simulator.
1992. It is noted for more than 3,000 quartzite sandstone pillars and peaks across most of the site, many over 200 meters in height, along with many ravines and gorges with attractive streams, pools, lakes, rivers and waterfalls. It features 40 caves, many with large calcite deposits, and a natural bridge named Tiankaya Shenkong, which is one of the highest natural bridges in the world. The site is situated in Zhangjiajie City and lies about 270 kilometers to the northwest of Changsha, the capital of Hunan Province. The park covers an area of 690 square kilometers. Wulingyuan forms part of the Wuling mountain range. The scenic area consists of 4 national parks, which are the Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, Suoxi Valley Nature Reserve, Tianzi Mountain Nature Reserve and the recently added Yangjiajie Scenic Area. Overall, there are over 560 attraction sites to view.
Yeah, so when I first got into 2020, I wanted to fly around rock formations like that. And so I would port around different places in China, but I had no idea what I was looking for. And now I know where it's at. And now I'm interested in free flying that area, grabbing the coordinates, and seeing if the simulators got it, because that would be a trip. I think.
In 1982, the park was recognized as China's first national forest park with an area of 11,900 acres. The towering limestone pillars at this park, part of the Wulingyuan Scenic Area in China's Hunan Province, may look familiar. Rumor has it that they were the inspiration for the floating forests in Avatar's.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Avatar. I was just going to say that.
The jagged columns, at least one rising more than 3,500 feet in the air, that got their start more than 200 million years ago when seas receded and the limestone landscape took over. Today about 157 different types of trees grow in the forest park, and the frequent fog that covers the area makes them seem even more cinematic.
Yeah. That's what I want to fly.
A cable car was constructed in 2005 by the French company Poma from nearby Zhangjiajie railway station to the top of the mountain. Tianmen Mountain Cableway is claimed in tourist publications as the longest passenger cableway of high mountains in the world, with 98 cars and a total length of 7,455 meters and ascent of 1,279 meters. The highest gradient is 37 degrees. Tourists can walk on kilometers of paths built along the cliff face at the top of the mountain, including sections with glass floors. An 11 kilometers road, Tongtian Avenue with 99 bends, also reaches the top of the mountain and takes visitors to Tianmen Cave, a natural arch in the mountain of a height of 131.5 meters. The Tianmenshan Temple is located on the summit, with chairlift or footpath access. The original temple there was built during the Tang dynasty and destroyed during the first part of the 20th century. In 1949, as the Chinese Communist Revolution neared its end, construction of a new temple, with Tang dynasty architecture, began. The temple now sits on landscaped grounds covering 2 hectares. In 2007, Alan Roberts scaled the cliff below the arch, bare-handed and without protection. A plaque commemorates his feat. In August 2016, a glass skywalk overlooking Tongtian Avenue, called the Coiling Dragon Cliff, opened to the public.
Oh, thank you as always, Farmer. You'll pass on the glass bridge. You have a great afternoon. I can't wait for the next episode. So, again, there's got to be a lot of ways to approach that challenge. I was thinking about, wonder how long it would take doing chicken farm. I'd have to go back and rewatch and check out the limitations that you had mentioned. I look forward to the next one. Even if you're mowing some more, that was fun. Love your commentary. Again, it's nice hearing your voice. In a lot of the earlier ones, no voice. Coming up next, we have this.
Furong is a town in Yongsan County, Jiangxi Prefecture, Hunan. The town, also advertised as Furong Ancient Town, is a tourist attraction in mountainous northwest Hunan, approximately halfway between the popular tourist destinations of Fenghuang County and Zhangjiajie. The town is well known for its scenic location, situated on cliffs above a waterfall that falls into the Yu River. The waterfall is considered a must-visit scenic spot for tourists here. Furong is surrounded by water on 3 sides, and waterfalls pass through the town. This is considered the largest and most spectacular waterfall in western Hunan.
It's interesting the difference between certain satellite tiles and others. And I'm guessing that's all it's at one point fog or clouds. Yeah, you don't get it up here. Yeah, all these little puffy clouds. That's an interesting haze effect. When I first drilled down, I didn't know what to make of it. All right, so directly ahead at 1 o'clock. Let's take these ones on the sides real quick.
Changsha IFS Tower T1 is a skyscraper in Changsha, Hunan, China. It is 452 meters tall. Construction started in 2013 and completed in 2017. As of 2020, it ranks as the 16th tallest completed building in the world using data from the Skyscraper Center. This twin tower development is based on Harbor City, a hyperconnected retail development in Hong Kong. The Fanjingshan or Mount Fanjing, located in Tongren, Guizhou Province, is the highest peak of the Wuling Mountains in southwestern China, at an elevation of 2,570 meters. The Fanjingshan National Nature Reserve was established in 1978 and designated a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve in 1986. It became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2018. Mount Fanjing is considered a holy site in Buddhism and its name means Brahma's pure land. Its peak is known as the Red Cloud Golden Summit and is topped by two temples, with a narrow gorge in between and a footbridge linking them.
What's going on here? I don't think it wants us to see what's there. Or over there. That's interesting. That's like tempting people to go see what's there. Well, now we know that there's something there that you don't want us to see. There's no stopping us from looking these days. Oh, you know what we haven't done today is check for local radio. I can only play a couple of seconds of each, or I get a copyright flag, but I'll do a quick scan. We ran into them yesterday, same bad audio quality. Hello. All right, well, I'm still streaming, so I will.
All right, I'll call when I leave.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Poor Chris. Not a lot to listen to today. That's a bummer. They've got good audio. Well, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. I want to keep listening to that for sure. That's great. That's like modern techno Chinese. Now it just went into anime or their television programming. Guess I was hoping for something a little bit more male emo. Every time I hear like a female singer like that, it pretty much like every television programming, you know. Next thing I'm seeing cherry blossoms and horses. Let me quickly get to this.
The Shuifeng Mountains are a mountain range of China in western Hunan province. The Shuifeng Mountains lie in the heart of Hunan. They are an extension of the highlands in the province's west, which run northeast to southwest and form the eastern edge of the Guizhou Plateau. The composition of the mountains is mainly slate, quartzite, and sandstone. The mountains have numerous deep gorges formed by the many rivers that flow through it.
Cherry blossoms. Robes and twirling and swords. Yeah. And horses. I like the way it started. Why do you build me up, Buttercup?
Hangshan is a mountain in south-central China's Hunan province known as the Southern Mountain of the Five Great Mountains of China. Hangshan.
Sorry, the map went wonky. Started whiting out everything.
Hangshan is a mountain in south-central China's Hunan province known as the Southern Mountain of the Five Great Mountains of China. Hengshan is a mountain range 150 kilometers long with 72 peaks and lies at 27 degrees 18.6 N 112 degrees 41.5 E. The Huaiyan Peak is the south end of the peaks, Yulu Mountain in Changsha City is the north end, and the Jurong Peak is the highest at 1,300 meters above sea level. At the foot of the mountain stands the largest temple in southern China, the Grand Temple of Mount Heng, which is the largest group of ancient buildings in Hunan Province. Other notable sites in the area include the Shashengxi Temple, an 8th century Buddhist monastery, and Jurong Gong, a small stone temple. The Yongji Bridge of Chengyang, also called the Chengyang Wind and Rain Bridge, is a bridge in Sanjiang County of Guangxi, China. Chengyang Bridge is a special covered bridge or Langkao, and one of several Fengyu bridges in the local Dong minority region. It was completed in 1912. The bridge is a combination of bridge, corridor, veranda and Chinese pavilion. It has 2 platforms, one at each end of the bridge, 3 piers, 3 spans, 5 pavilions, 19 verandas, and 3 floors. The piers are made of stone, the upper structures are mainly wooden, and the roof is covered with tiles. The bridge has wooden handrails on both sides. The bridge has a total length of 64.4 meters, and its corridor has a width of 3.4 meters. The net height above the river is about 10 meters.
That's fantastic. And Europe, Italy and other places, they would do the same thing. They would build structures like London Bridge. When London Bridge was first created, it was filled with businesses and residences and all kinds of ises.
The Longshk is a canal in Xingan County, near Guilin, in the northwestern corner of Guangxi, China. It connects the Xiang River with the Li River, and thus is part of a historical waterway between the Yangtze and the Pearl River Delta. It was the first canal in the world to connect 2 river valleys and enabled boats to travel 2,000 kilometers from Beijing to Hong Kong.
That's a pretty big deal.
The Reed Flute Cave, also known as the Palace of Natural Arts, is a landmark and tourist attraction in Guilin, Guangxi, China. Lake inside the cave, with artificial lighting. The cave got its name from the type of reed growing outside, which can be made into flutes. Reed Flute Cave is filled with a large number of stalactites, stalagmites and other rock formations. Inside, there are more than 70 inscriptions written in ink, which can be dated back as far as 792 AD in the Tang dynasty. These aged inscriptions tell us that it has been an attraction in Guilin since ancient times. It was rediscovered in the 1940s by a group of refugees fleeing the Japanese troops. Nowadays, multicolored lighting artificially illuminates the cave. The Reed Flute Cave is filled with various stalactites and stalagmites, which are named according to what they look like and the legends surrounding them: Crystal Palace, Fishtail Peak, and Dragon Pagoda. One giant stalactite is said to have been the magic spear of the Dragon King, used by the Monkey King Sun Wukong in the Chinese Buddhist classic, Journey to the West.
Wow.
The Platinum Card's 5 times membership rewards points on flights got us to paradise, with special access to unforgettable experiences. And
this is called Scream.
For a trip that's next level. Learn
Scream Radio.
/explore-platinum. Terms and points cap apply.
We keep hearing the same commercials. This one should be like Nissan.
Time with our pets is extra precious.
Oh,
That's why
no.
we started Dutch. Dutch provides
It's a new one.
24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time, and
I was wrong. I was going to say I was expecting that Nissan commercial.
vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Wow, it's Western. That's far out. I've been saying, oh, where's the rock stations? I want to hear somebody rocking. It's really interesting here that we're hearing a Western station and Western music. It's very cool. It sounds like a band I should know. Sounds familiar. Do you know who that is? I can't play much of it, but let me play some more. Damn, that was loud. Love it. Rock. Rock, baby. I'm glad they're rocking over there. Again, this is all local. Supposed to be pulling local radio stations. Said it yesterday, and well, I say every time I use this, but it's a fantastic app, and you're not going to be live streaming, and you're into music while you're flying, then it's the best dang app ever. Trying to find and listen to radio stations from around the world, it's an amazing thing. When I was traveling through Sweden and Finland area, just far out. They know how to rock, and they're very original. I wish there was a way for me to go forwards and backwards in the radio searching.
The Platinum Card's 5 times membership rewards points on flights got us to paradise.
This still says Scream.
Access to unforgettable experiences and
Magic FM. Nope. I like it. I like it.
Bom é ter grana pra sentar num bar, tomando chopp à beira-mar. Bom é trocar uma figurinha.
I like it. That was back to Scream Radio. 25% fuel, right? Huh? Let's see. I really should have paid more attention to that. Well, I think we might make it. If not, I will invoke my special Skydude superhero powers. I'm level 143 now. I can cast Fireball and 13 magic missiles per round. All kinds of cool magic spells at this level. Also, the ability to do an instant repair and refuel. Perks of being a superhero, or becoming one. It's a keyboard command in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and 2020. It's the repair and refuel. So if you're like me and find yourself in trouble with fuel a lot, it is a good keyboard command to make sure that is set. Sure, you can always role play it out and go down with the ship. Take it for what it is. Gonna crash. See if I can at least get down to the ground without killing us. I take a risk pretty much with every live stream at the start. If you haven't seen what I do at the start with the D&D dice and the random failure application, then please take the time to rewind or watch the start of any of the live streams. So I use Dungeons and Dragons dice to determine if bad guys if they tamper with the aircraft that I'm going to be flying that day. And so, did I already put away the D&D dice? No, I just hit them. And I closed the... No. There it is. Okay. So I use these two things here, the D&D dice and the random failure generator. So at the start of every show, I roll to see if they're able to successfully sabotage the plane I'm flying. And that adds some spice to things. I've been really lucky in the past, 6-7 live streams. I have, I usually allow, for example, there's 7 things that they can mess with. 7 areas of an aircraft that they can mess with, and then the components within those categories. So I always start out by rolling a D8. All right. That way, if they roll an 8 like they did today, nothing happens. If it's a 1 through a 7, then we determine which system they're messing with and which component or which thing within the category they're messing with and the percentage chance of it happening. I also like using the oh, you're not seeing that? There you go. The D&D dice generated at the top. Thanks to dnddiceroller.com. And then you can find the random failure application, I'm sure, on any of the popular download sites. So 7 categories of things that they can mess with. In this case, it would have been a 3. That would have been in fuel. Then there's 3 things they can mess with here, so I'll grab a D4. If they roll a 4, nothing happens. So I rolled a 1, they rolled a 1. So it would be the center fuel tank leakage. And considering we have 25% fuel right now, that'd be bad. Then we have to determine the possibility of failure. Is VNAV working, and what's going on with the plane? Let's see here, one moment. Just out of the corner of my eye, I was looking at the plane and she was doing some weird movement. All right, so then we have to grab a 100-sided dice and roll that to determine the percentage. And here in the random failures application, it's 0 to 1,000. So just turn that into 450. And then you do a save. Then you go to overview and you start. Then you monitor the fail list. And it happened. Or it says it will happen. Center fuel tank leakage. When will fail? Speed. When I hit 68 knots. That's fine. We aren't going to hit 68 knots. Unless it's saying right now we've surpassed 68 knots, in which case we're going to be bleeding fuel real quick. If not, we don't have to worry about that. At 68, we're going to be slowing down and braking on the runway. And I don't care about losing fuel then.
The Nunling, also known as the Wuling, is a major mountain range in southern China that separates the Pearl River Basin from the Yangtze Valley and serves as the dividing line between south and central subtropical zones. The main range of Nunling Mountains stretch west to east about 600 kilometers from Guilin and Hezhou of the eastern Guangxi to Ganzhou of the southern Jiangxi, north to south about 200 kilometers from Yongzhou and Chenzhou of the southern Hunan to Qinyuan and Shaoguan of the northern Guangdong. With its branches, the whole mountains run west to east 1,400 kilometers. There are trough basins in the Nunling. The most of the western basins in Nunling Mountains are composed of limestone, where karst regions are located. The most of the eastern basins are made up of red sandstone, where are dankshire landform areas. The Nunling are boundaries between the 4 provinces of Guangdong, Guangxi, Hunan, and Jiangxi, and also the cultural boundaries. On the south of the mountains are Lingnan culture area. The Nunling is a corridor where Chinese ethnic groups migrate and also the land of national amalgamation. In the Nunling, there form trough corridors, tectonic fault basins or watersheds, where are relatively low and not difficult to climb, between the natural gorge channels and the river systems in the north and south of the Nunling are natural channels, people-to-people exchanges are easy. Since the Qin dynasty, from the Central Plains into Lingnan there have been 5 ancient roads, which are Yuecheng Ling Road, Mengxiuling Road, Qishanling Road, Lingling Guiyang Path and Dayuling Road. At the same time, many tributaries of the Yangtze system and Pearl River system have also formed west to east passages. The mountains forming the ranges are generally of moderate altitude, the highest point being the summit of Kitten Mountain at 2,142 meters.
With the American Express Gold Card, I can earn 4 times membership rewards points at U.S. supermarkets. So with all these groceries, I'm also getting points. Learn more at americanexpress.com/US/explore-gold. Terms and points cap apply.
Some matches are temporary.
The local radio's kicked on again.
With Line 2, you get a second phone line just for dating. No need to share your personal...
These aren't my commercials. I'm not getting paid for them. We're listening to local radio from China.
It's fun and private. It's perfect.
And I don't have the station ID.
Or just keeping things
it just says local radio.
Line 2
I think we were on Scream.
Without any drama. Dating should be fun and carefree. Line 2 keeps it that way. Ready to date on your terms? Visit line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in
case I would have said don't add an angsty male voice. Dude, really? Really? That's when you step aside and you say, no. A female has to sing that. That's just going to make me and other dudes feel awkward. Especially Skydude. When he hears this, he's going to feel so awkward. How much are you paying? Oh. Let me dust off the microphone here. That was a cover of Natalie Imbruglia, Horn. Is he still singing it, or has it moved on? Oh, no. No. That's just me, though. All right, well, we are coming into like audio tour central, so let me just get to it while we're coming in. As you see, we're heading south there, and look at all these audio tours. I'm going to scan for the ones that are the coolest, not just hit every single one this time. We got here Kinneas Pump Storage Power Station. Now I want to hear the power station. Chinwon city. Guangzhou Canton, romanized as something. CDF Finance Center, Canton Tower, Guangdong Olympic Center.
The Guangdong Olympic Center Stadium, or officially OT Main Stadium, is a multi-purpose stadium in Guangzhou, People's Republic of China. Currently used mostly for football matches, the stadium was opened in 2000. Weiyuan Fort is a coastal defense fort, now in ruins, in Humen, Dongguan, Guangdong, China. The fort was constructed in 1835 and was in use during the open. The Pearl River, also known by its Chinese name Zhujiang and formerly often known as the Canton River, is an extensive river system in southern China. The name Pearl River is also often used as a catch-all for the watersheds of the Zai, Bei, and Dong rivers of Guangdong. These rivers are all considered tributaries of the Pearl River because they share a common delta, the Pearl River Delta. Measured from the farthest reaches of the Zai River, the Pearl River system is China's third longest river, 2,400 kilometers, after the Yangtze River and the Yellow River, and second largest by volume, after the Yangtze. The 453,700 square kilometers Pearl River Basin drains the majority of Liangguang, as well as parts of Yunnan, Guizhou, Hunan and Jiangxi in China. It also drains northern parts of Vietnam's northeast Cao Bang and Lang Son provinces. As well as referring to the system as a whole, the Pearl River name is also applied to a specific branch within the system. This Pearl River is the widest distributary within the delta, although notably short. The waters that converge
I like that better.
Card with you on your morning coffee run and earn cash back.
Vibe Radio.
Earn miles. See if you pre-qualify for an American Express card with
36 minutes after the hour, you're watching Kinneas on YouTube.
YouTube. Your credit score may be impacted if you accept a card. Terms apply.
I like that. I was actually waiting to see if it was going to be a Western singer. Because right off the bat, I'm like, it's Casey and the Sunshine Band. You know, something like that. That's got a great sound to it. It is very 70s Casey and the Sunshine Band funk kind of sound to it. And then it changes. It's not even the same thing really anymore, I don't think. Now it's like more, I don't know. I don't know. Pop? They need to practice singing some Casey and the Sunshine Band. That'll help tremendously. FM Radio, Philippines, Manila. With DJ Skydude. Okay, there we go. Excellent. That's what I'm talking about. So now you got that kind of like the Western cadence, the Western rockabilly, almost like rockabilly Elvis going on there, and trying to do that. Exactly what I'm talking about. They were listening to some Elvis and some Buddy Holly, and yeah, let's do that. Where's Chinese, or actually I think we've crossed into the Philippines now. My geography, I get a D. Let's just give me an F. Let's just be fair about it, true about it. My geography sucks. And, you know, till the map tells me where I'm at, I don't know where I'm at. Mostly.
With the American Express Gold Card, I can earn 4 times membership.
Rage Music Philippines.
So with all these groceries, I'm also getting points. Learn more at americanexpress.com/us/explore-gold. Terms and points cap apply.
You know that feeling when you're about to score 30% off, but they want your number? Ugh. Give them your Line 2 number instead. It's a second line on your phone, perfect for nabbing promo codes without inviting spam to your party. Sign up for every discount under the sun, then block the junk texts that follow. You get all the perks, but none of the spammy baggage. More codes, less chaos. Visit line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in the App Store and get your shopping sidekick today.
I have no idea what she's just said.
Should be good deals.
That ain't so bad. We have instructions. So lowered to 34,000 hit level change. Fly to tepid, still on track. There was a discontinuity earlier. I don't know if you saw me do that or which screen I was on. But I had to fix a discontinuity. Our flight plan had broken. And it's all good now. Yeah, I should have done this about 3 minutes ago. Whoops. Hey, nice to meet you. Cheers. Sorry, I didn't mean to get all in your face and all. I was doing that for the viewers. Try to keep a little personal distance. All right, now it's getting awkward. All the goodies. In earlier flight simulator iterations, when you would go to certain places, you could pick up something and it would show up in your hangar. Was it Flight Simulator X or I don't remember what was before that. 2003, 2002. My point is you could get, a shirt, a sticker, a mug, whatever. You could get swag for all the places that you went. And I would greatly appreciate that idea brought into Microsoft Flight Simulator. Sure, it's nice to be able to pull up your log, your pilot log when it's working, and see all of your hours and everything documented nicely. But we don't have a personal hangar. And the hangar that we have in 2020, it's not there. It's a half-baked idea. I want a hangar. And I want to be able to get swag everywhere I go. That's unique. I'm sure you can make an AI develop some swag, unique swag for every place. With maybe some handcrafted ones in there. Spice it up. I trust AI now to do everything. I really do. Hey, and I'm an artist. Some people will question that. I do have a degree, though. Untapped, unused, really. But I do have an art degree, the Kansas City Art Institute, and I graduated top 10. but it doesn't mean anything. Where's I going with all that? Oh, I've forgotten. That's why. That is gorgeous out there. To keep my mind on what we're doing here. Oh, I was talking about getting swag in the hangar, having a hangar, which led me to want a physical hangar and my own airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. 2020, 2020. I would just hope they wait to 2030. 2030 is way much more cool than 2028. Give yourself the extra time this time. The next time. Just hold off till 2030. What do you think? But, yeah. Okay, so now how do I add my own airport in the game world? It might be something only I can see, or if I'm grouped, or if I send my friends like a URL or something. I send it to them through the EFB, my friends' places. And they're able to now see my airport that I've put in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I want one in Colorado. I don't mind using Meadow Lake. Excellent. Wow. We're descending rather rapidly, but still just so high up. Yes, sir. Cool FM HD1. Boy, we'd never missed the commercials.
Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection.
Actually, it's probably auto set. As soon as you tune in, they're gonna get you.
And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with a Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Wow, that was...
Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You know that feeling when you're about to score 30% off, but they want your number? Ugh. Give them your Line 2 number instead. It's a second line on your phone, perfect for nabbing promo codes without inviting spam to your party. Sign up for every discount under the sun.
I'm in audio hell. I'm sorry. You are now too. I'm sorry.
All the perks, but none of the spammy baggage. More codes, less chaos. Visit line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in the App Store and get your shopping sidekick today. Because
we're going to get in trouble for going too fast. Yep. We are.
Be a man. Be courageous. Be strong. Now that's maleness. And it transfers right over into the spiritual dimension. Boy, I can remember when America looked at men as heroes.
Can't read it.
Because they were courageous, because they were strong. And now it looks down on men who have the courage of their convictions, and elevates the compromisers. But how can we be so strong? How can a man be strong and courageous? One last Old Testament passage which uses the same terminology, Joshua 1. Joshua 1, verse 2. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, cross this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I am giving to them, to the sons of Israel. This, by the way, is the Lord speaking. You're going to get every place the sole of your foot treads. I've given it all to you, just as I told Moses. So they're moving into the land. Now, what is God's word to Joshua? Verse 6. And this to him and to all the people, be strong and courageous.
Local radio. $52 after the hour. Thanks for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Always, 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 always. More than you know. Thank you for making it part of your daily stop-in. I really appreciate it and appreciate you. If I'm not following, please say hello in the chat room so I can go to your channel and subscribe. Pardon me, I want to make sure that the light rays are set to ultra. The ambient occlusion is set to ultra. Rain shadows set higher. And anisotropic should be off, but it's at 16 in the control panel in NVIDIA. And we're over water, so oops, it goes high. Oops, I have to check the terrain level. Let's pump it up high. Oh, it's at 400 already. Let's turn these down until we get down there. Buildings at ultra. And leave it at that before I blow up my computer. Don't know why, but Heart is suddenly playing in my head. I'm trying to come up with the song title for you. Straight On For You. Yeah, I'm in the chorus.
Welcome to paradise. With the Platinum Card, unlock over $1,500 back in value annually on select purchases across travel, entertainment, and dining. Now let's make our trip.
Since we're right here next to these objects, it didn't trigger. But it's close enough we can actually see it. Well, we can't.
Weiyuan Fort is a coastal defense fort, now in ruins, in Humen, Dongguan, Guangdong, China. The fort was constructed in 1835 and was in use during the Opium Wars. The fort is situated immediately
118
under
decimal
the bridge. There were 44 cannons there to defend against the British, 40 dark artillery and 4 open fort. It is 306.
I don't know if they're going to bring me down, Bruce. So I'm going to do it myself. Our approach diamond is way low. The runway elevation is 10 feet. Man, descending too fast every time. The vertical speed is just insane. So we're going to get a lot of penalties for overspeeding under 10,000 feet. If you're around 2.5, should be able to stay under 250. Oh, and I'm set up here to 280. That's dumb. Ooh, there's the approach diamond. I'm going to approach. Did it. Nailed it. Yahoo! Uh-oh. Too slow? Sorry, I was too busy freaking out. It broke approach. I don't want to have to do a go around. Oh, I'm going to do something bad. Pardon me for being quiet. I am in nervous mode. Oh, really? Oh, shit. Oops. Oh, what a horrible landing. Oh, it was going great until it's not. So my hand suddenly didn't want to remember the proper buttons for engaging the speed brake. Let me look down and see if it did it all. No, I disengaged the speed brake without looking. Press the button and turn it off. Okay, then I was pressing the wrong button for reverse thrust. Then I got beeped at for engaging the brakes, try to save myself. So luckily, there at the very end, immediately I saw the blue line flash to do an exit. And at that time, had finally got the reverse thrust on, but yeah, you see where we're at. Should have maybe... I was worried. The way we were hitting it looked like we were out of runway. But actually, I see now I probably could have just kept going forward and not freaked out and slowed down out here. So this is where I should add my head up, and my head was down, looking at the darn reverse thrust right here. Head down too long. And, whoop, so sorry about that. And now I can't tell my perspective, like on how much runway I have left. And so I'm like, oh, I'm out of runway. I thought those markings right there were terminal. I gotta get better eyes. So then I thought I was doing the right thing and turned off and put us in this position. Oh, no. Oh, I'm so sorry. What did I do? I had it up. The dang map up. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. It's one thing to screw up a landing and get crappy points and do all of that. It's another thing to realize how badly I've just failed you as a viewer by not getting it back over and shut off from the Bush Talk screen. There was so much going on right there. So I'm just sitting here in a funk of humiliation. I deeply, deeply, deeply apologize. It's the worst crap that happens when you're attempting to live stream. Okay. What a great flight, though, up to that point. We discovered all kinds of great stuff today. I had changed the lighting all perfect. I changed the weather all perfect. Changed everything for high detail and ultra. Adjusted and got the ILS kicked in. And yeah. I feel like I robbed you. Well, there's always tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Friday. Tomorrow is the community fly-in. No, today's Wednesday. This today. I'm off. Today's Wednesday. So there's always tomorrow. Wow, respect the condition of the aircraft. Nice. Yeah. Passenger satisfaction. Yeah, I would not be happy with that landing so much. Okay, big errors today. 3 flight level, and that happened yesterday too. And I gotta really make a mental note, to pay way more attention on the descent. Plan ahead, try to get the speed down before the big descent. Make sure that we don't ever exceed 250 under 10,000 feet. I knew I was going to get a taxi for speeding, but that U-turn taxi kind of made me mad after that long taxi. Yep, 1 flap extended max speed. So we got don't see flaps, right? So I just threw all the flaps in. I don't know if I was supposed to go the other way and remove flaps, but I went in and put it all the way forward, and it seemed to have made it shut up. I'll take a B. Expected a C, but I'll take it. Not bad for the day. Oh, but they did take some reputation today. I completely understand. I'm not going to complain one bit about it. Totally deserved. I don't know how to say thank you in Chinese or in Philippinese. And we managed to do without me having to use my superpower and refuel. I'm pretty happy about that. Let me look in the chat room, see if there's any parting messages. Nope, just the last comment on Farming Simulator. There's so many ways to play. Yeah. I'd like you to get a couple super chat donations, which will allow me to purchase Farming Simulator. I'll do it. Everybody's like, you got to get this, you got to get that. Hey, I'm live streaming, I'm broke. I would love to play more games. I would need your support. Christine will get mad at me if I'm like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and just start getting purchase a bunch of games. Oh. So you usually hear Christine call in once or twice, or hear in the background during each show. She checks in every day. I want to make her happy. So I'll need some donations and some super chats and a little a little pampering like all the other live streamers. My goodness. I was also thinking about the community flying today. I really doubt they'll ever add me or ask me on as a creator guest. They've had a guest hosts on the show that's what they do. They're live streamers. But I don't know. I kind of doubt it. And then I don't know that I'd actually want to do it because I make so many mistakes, and hell, I can't even talk right most of the time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the flight today. I did. And today again, Bush Talk. Wow. What a great day. And the radio stuff even. A lot of good stuff to catch snippets of. We found a rock station today, and that was pretty cool. So this has, see what I mean? This has been episode 325 of Skydude in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, the career mode stuff, and my other hangar one. So if I'm gonna start doing some free flying so I can hook up with people and do multiplayer flying. And so let me put up what you should look for. I'm going to stick with this one for a while so you can identify when I'm doing free flying. My hangar. Okay, here. I was talking in this show about wanting my own hangar in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I didn't want to use an existing airport. I wanted to have one. I want to plop my own hangar based on my career money somewhere in the world. And I like here, I want to be up in more like a mountain lake in Colorado where I live. I don't want to be down here in Colorado Springs. And I want to be able to put my swag all over my hangar. All my stickers from every place that I've landed. All, or signs or postcards or t-shirts or Hawaiian shirts or anything, swag, memorabilia. And I want to decorate my hangar with all of my traveling memorabilia. And I want to create my Skydude sign out there. And I want to be able to sit out there and hang out with my airplane and listen to local radio and Bush Talk and have it be all atmospheric like that on a Colorado lake. Or move my hangar to another place in the world. Wherever. But it's not an unusual request in other MMO titles. Persistent hangars for like Star Citizen. Star Citizen has a persistent hangar and locations, bases, whatever system. And that's what you do. You fill it with all your goodies that you acquire. So one of the things people have asked for in career mode is buying and selling goods, a market. So that kind of thing too, that at the markets, you can maybe buy your swag there. What are your thoughts on that? Would you like a persistent hanger? Would you like to have stickers and t-shirts and coffee mugs and postcards and posters and signage? Something from all the places that you visit? And decorate your hanger with that? And then, in Star Citizen, they have a jukebox. I would want one of those too if I'm not listening to the radio thing. I think being able to have your own jukebox, and I don't know how, letting us plug in our own music. Anyway, we live in that kind of world now where we can think about such cool things moving forward with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay. So when I'm doing free flying, that's the artwork that I'm going to be, cover art I'm going to be putting up. Open time, hangar time, just whatever. Practicing. So yeah, tomorrow, starting out here again in the Philippines, I believe now, and we'll see where the jobs take us. Continue our adventure. Thank you for coming along as cabin crew today. Bruno, Farmer Tech, Henny stopped in from Germany. And that's it for today. Hey, don't be a stranger. Come in and say hi if ever you're tuning in. If ever, whenever you're tuning in, dummy. This show not brought to you by any Ajax kitchen cleaning products.